Okay, so yeah, normally I then ask what do people want to talk about, but I'm not going to do that today because I'm just going to explain a little bit about Talkaoke, what it's for, and how the device works as well. Has everyone here seen Talkaoke before? Has anyone not seen it? You've not seen it. Do you know anything about Talkaoke?
Not really.
Okay, well I'll explain it. Talkaoke is a kind of talk show. The most important thing about Talkaoke is that it's really up to the people around the outside how they want to drive this flying saucer of chat. It's really up to you to decide what direction you want to take it in. It's kind of, you know, my job in the middle is just simply, or your job, is just simply to be the humble microphone porter. Pass the microphone around. But, of course, the difficult bit in this show is to get that feeling that people want to contribute and take part and actually, you know, get them happy and comfortable, actually contributing to the conversation in a creative way. That's the difficult bit, but I'm not going to go much into that right now because I think a lot of it is just about, you know, being comfortable in the middle of the table and being relaxed and just just allowing your own personality to shine. So I'll just talk a little bit about this table. Well, no one said this was easy. You've got to be the humble microphone porter, like me, very, very demure and, you know, and humble, but also at the same time, you've got to be yourself. Which in my case is easy because I'm a very shy and retiring person. But anyway, so I'll just explain a little bit about the kit here. This is a table. The main thing that it's doing, I guess, is the mixer here. It's all powered by batteries from, if you all have a look in, there's a battery in there, which is powering the whole thing. So we could go out on the street right now if we wanted to, or anywhere really. Although it does need charging after every gig. So that's all powered by battery. It's going to some amplifiers, there's some speakers here. Then actually, if I turn off the feedback device, one of the problems is if the microphone gets too close to the speakers, it makes a horrible noise, especially when the feedback device this is new, the feedback device. It doesn't work that well actually, so there you go. But yeah, it's a bit of a safeguard. But also, the other thing that you can do, you can actually cut off each of these speakers. That's what these lights are around here. You can cut off, but don't make sure that you don't switch them all off because then you end up really without any amplification power. So make sure you turn them back on again when after you've moved the microphone around. And then we've got some lights in here. I'll just open up a sample section of tape. It's very simple. Amplifier. Where's the amplifier? Here, underneath this light. Some lights, some speakers. There's a mixer. This is a radio mic receiver, which is receiving from here. So that just to sort of, the only reason we've got this is to stop getting more tangles, because we used to have two cables and then led to more tangling.
With a mixer, is that to mix both microphones or?
Yeah, I mean these first two are the music. We've got it coming in stereo, so we can get rid of the music, or turn it up if you want to. And this is me. And often it's better to have slightly quieter than the microphone on the outside, for obvious reasons, I suppose. This is the number for channel 4. This is me, and this is this microphone here. Oh, this main microphone. And then this is the master volume. And then you've got another. Although this is quite quiet here, if you're in a field somewhere, you've got some extra volume here that you can turn things up on. But in a confined space, you can only turn it up so much before you get horrible noises happening. So that's basically how the device works. I wouldn't worry about it too much. If you want to jump in the middle of the table, that's just, it should just all come. Oh yeah, then we've got some music selection. At the moment we've got We're listening to the music of Juan Atkins. But there's a whole, it's an iPod. Okay, so there we go. That's it, really.
Can you have two people there?
In the middle? Yeah, I mean, it's just a question of how close you want to be to the co-host, to your other co-host. Yeah, a Siamese twin would work. One larger person or a smaller person might work. You could even have a sort of one straddling, so that they, one of the problems is I've got a blind spot here. It's quite wide, so I have to keep swiveling to make sure that everyone's in. Because one of the things I'm doing is I'm making sure that everyone's engaged and ready to respond. So if I'm over this side, I have to keep turning around just to make sure that people on this side are happy and comfortable, and they're not being ignored. Which is difficult. And the other problem that arises is that if you're looking around all the time when someone's saying something, they think you're not listening to what they're saying, which couldn't be further from the truth.
Could you have an electric thing that calls your attention or something like that?
We could do that. That's a possible design idea. We were thinking about having a kind of vibrating seat to attract the host's attention in the new design. So that's pretty much that's pretty much a technical description of Talkaoke. It's much more than that, of course. Are we actually recording this? Yeah. Then we're recording it over there, and we're going to upload it onto the internet. So that's generally a thing we do. Sorry?
You got some rules.
Got some rules.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's 2 rules of Talkaoke. Thanks for reminding me. Crystalina's been. How long have you been doing Talkaoke? When was the first time you did Talkaoke?
1,000 years.
1,000 years, yeah.
Probably the first or the second ever since.
Yeah, the first one, or the second one, which is in 1997. So this has been going some time. Very soon it became apparent there needed to be 2 rules. There's someone wants to come. Or do they not want to come in? No, they've just gone off again. I wouldn't worry about that too much. Anyway, there's 2 rules. The first rule, which came into force in that same year, was no singing. And it might sound a bit trivial, a little bit kind of, a little bit of being a bit of a killjoy to say no singing. But actually, it's very important, especially in a sort of drinking kind of environment, to make sure it doesn't degenerate into karaoke. So that's the one rule, and the second rule, which came into being, which is up there, is no punch-ups. That's quite an obvious rule, really. Wouldn't really think about it until I've only ever had one real sort of even start of a punch-up, but obviously it's unpleasant for that to happen. So it's very important, being in the middle of the table, that people don't bring their conversation around to a kind of way that's actually offending and intimidating other members of the audience, or other participants, as we like to call them, rather than audience. What's this? Is this a list of people that are going to go in the middle? It is. It's like a registration call. So, I mean, I guess, as this is not about me, this is about you, have we got a volunteer for somebody that wants to jump in the middle? Or do people want me to get it going a little bit first, and then once the table's warm, once it's hot, yeah. I mean, I have to say that it's a bit like a car. The difficult bit is starting it up, and once it's going, it's much easier to drive.